Hey, make sure y'all tap into that new LAX Gotham podcast starring LA's own Gangland Neem, one of the best up and comers in Los Angeles on the streaming platform, and New York City's own, the real New York mayor, Showface News. It's epic, it's crazy. Make sure you tap in every Sunday, every single Sunday. You'll see Gangland Neem live with the one and only Showface News going crazy. Y'all make sure y'all tap in. It's the mayor. Stop playing.
Sipping slow, yak in the act, thinking I'm the mayor.
It's the mayor. Welcome to Showface News. Call me what you want, just don't call me woke. You're not rocking with the town favorite. Showface News is Big Gotham, and you already know it's the town versus everybody at all times. Make sure you like the video, share the video. Listen, gang, we back again with another one, so check it out, man. The rapper named Pressa out of Toronto was someone who was on tour with Drake once upon a time after he got bailed out for kidnapping charges with children involved, right? He kidnapped some children and made them do some very heinous things. You will find out in this video, alright? It's very disgusting. This is the second person involved with Drake that has nasty charges on their jacket, alright? Outside of Baka, not nice. Hit the like, share the video. It's the mayor with a reaction. Let's get it. Let's go. Come on, gang. This is crazy.
Toronto's rap scene is on the rise. One of their biggest rappers is a dude named Pressa, who got a wild story, including opening for Drake's tour while out on bail for kidnapping charges. Let's tap into the come up and career of Pressa, Toronto's babyface badass. Pressa was born and raised in the Driftwood neighborhood of Jane and Finch, a hood in Toronto known for crime and gang activity. His mom's Filipino and his dad's Jamaican. But at just 5 weeks old, his pops was sentenced to 15 years to life for second-degree murder after shooting a security guard. So, he and his brother were raised by a single mom, and while she was working, trying to provide, Pressa and his brother quickly got sucked into the streets. His brother Lamar started selling crack as a teenager and ran a gang called the Young Bucks Killers. The gang would get caught up in a police takedown called Project Marvel and got linked to many different crimes, including shootings and drug trafficking. The police determined Shamar was the leader of the gang, and Pressa was being trained to be the next in line. So cops raided their home and found multiple guns, cash, and drugs like coke and ecstasy. Pressa pled guilty to selling drugs from his mom's house and got hit with 14 months in juvie. While he was locked up, he had his brother sneaking weed for him to smoke. The officers eventually searched his cell and found the weed and charged him with organized crime with the intent to sell marijuana. They ended up dropping the organized crime charge, but he was still tied in with Project Marvel, which would follow him for a long time. 10 months after he got out, Pressa went on the run for an attempted murder charge. He ended up getting caught and arrested after 14 months on the run and spent like 9 months in jail.
He was on no jumper. Go figure, right? But yeah, it seems like he grew up around very problematic things, right? His ruthless behavior definitely comes from home, right? His father was a crash out, clearly. When you hit a security guard, like, what's really good with that? Then your brother becomes another delinquent who pushes substances into the streets. Alright, so again, it seems like the background is all the way effed up, and he's probably seen some things that are really messed up as to why he would do the crime that he actually did and not have any remorse about it. I'm just saying. But the fact he was able to get bailed out is nasty enough. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. That's nasty enough that he was able to get bail for what he did. And Drake knows about these things and still put him on tour to open up for him, which is disgusting. And make sure you hit the like, share the video. It's the mayor. Let's keep it going.
But he eventually beat the case and all charges got dropped. While he was dealing with his own legal situation, his father got released from prison on parole. But he was only out for like 10 months before getting into an altercation that violated his parole and got him sent right back. Pressa was in jail at the time, so he never got to reunite with his dad on the outside. But he said his pops always picked up his calls from jail because he knew what it was like being on the inside. So he had someone he could rely on to talk about what he was going through. His brother Shamar eventually got convicted on multiple gun, drug, and gang charges and was given a 10-year sentence. So, with his brother sitting down and no one else to look after him, Pressa started making music as a way to escape the streets. He dropped his first song, Wasp Gang, in 2015 with Robin Banks, another Driftwood rapper. The song.
Okay, so this is interesting. Not only does he look like Little Meech with curly hair, he look like Little Meech without the facial hair involved. But aside from that, Wasp Gang, is very well known for defending Drake, so to speak, out here in these streets. So little do y'all know, Kodak Black and Drake had a silent beef over some things, alright? And that was part of the reason why Kodak Black ended up getting shot at Justin Bieber's party in Los Angeles a few years back, alright? He got grazed. Now, the person that shot at Kodak Black was a What's Gang member, alright? It was a member from What's Gang who had just got out of jail, and it wasn't Pressa, it was someone else, but they was masked up in LA doing that. So again, don't sleep on the Canadian people, because they're crazy, alright? They're wild individuals, alright? And that person also who was from What's Gang and shot at Kodak Black also is cool with A Boogie and Don Q out of Highbridge, from Highbridge the label, who also have beef with Kodak Black. So it's a lot of internal things that led up to that shooting taking place. Just to educate y'all. Yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button and share the video. Let's keep it going.
It was a tribute to their friend Wasi, who recently got shot to death by police outside of a nightclub. Wasi was one of Pressa's day ones, and they came up together in the streets. When he died, he was on the run for a double murder. While he was out partying, the police caught up to him, and it led to a shootout. Wasi fired at them first from inside a car, so police responded by spraying bullets, and one hit him in the chest. Wasi was well known in the neighborhood, and his death was a major loss. Seeing his close friend get killed had a major impact on Pressa, and he decided to make a change and do something more positive to avoid ending up in the same situation. What's Gang went viral and became a big hit in the area. Robin Banks already had a growing fan base in Toronto, while Pressa was only known around the neighborhood. This was his first introduction as a rapper, but it showed he had talent from day one. He started dropping music more consistently in 2016, but his street activities eventually caught up to him and almost destroyed his whole career. In April 2016, members of the Young Buck Killers threw a party at an Airbnb in downtown Toronto. Members from the Queens Drive Crips, who are known to beef with the Young Bucks, tried to crash the party. The two gangs ended up getting into it in the hallway, and like 10 shots was fired. The whole thing got captured on CCTV, which shows two Young Bucks members ducking into an elevator while being shot at from the hallway. No one got hit, but the shootout was enough to set off the Young Bucks killers who wanted revenge for getting their party crashed and almost getting killed. So they came up with a wild plan. They decided to target the two 17-year-old Crips who gave up the party location to the rest of the gang. They somehow convinced them to meet at their spot, where they kidnapped and tortured them. They was held hostage for like 48 hours and forced to do some real sick shit. They got tied to a chair and beaten up pretty bad. They was also forced to play Russian roulette with a loaded gun. At one point, they even got forced to perform acts on each other.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the part of the streets that they don't tell you about. Now, as insane and sick as this is, you had two 17-year-olds, two males, perform nexual acts on each other. This is violation. You know what I'm saying? This is violation. But again, in the streets, these type of things do happen where, someone who's like a drug lord or who really got power in the streets forces two grown men to do something as sinister as to perform acts on each other. Alright? Now, this is notably happened in history and still happens to this day. Now, I do look at anyone who tries to make someone do this as a sick individual. Like, it's weird. Why would you want them to do that? Why do you want to see that? That is sick in my eyes. I feel like you have a devious demonic fetish. That's just my opinion, though. Alright? Y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section. How do y'all feel about that, man? I hit the like, share the video. But this is someone who's allowed to perform with Drake. Drake thought this was gangster, apparently.
And these was two teenage boys. If that ain't bad enough, they also filmed them doing it just to embarrass them. The torture got so intense, it got the neighbors' attention, and they had to move them to a different spot to avoid getting caught. Then, they contacted the victims' families and demanded a ransom. They eventually let the two boys go after one of their moms paid $3,000 up front and agreed to pay another $7,000 within a week for a total ransom of $10,000. The kidnappers also told her if she ain't come up with that extra $7,000, they was gonna put out the videos that showed them performing acts on each other. So the victims was released and taken to the hospital. At first,
so they ain't even say they was gonna smoke them because Toronto's such a West Indian community. It would be very, very much more gruesome to see the boys doing the acts, and their families facing severe humiliation as well as trauma. If that gets put out, because the West Indian and Caribbean community, the island community for that matter, that's out there in Toronto, would have been in an uproar behind that. They probably would have shunned them from being in Toronto. You dig what I'm saying? So it could cause a massive situation. So them doing that would be just as bad as if they offed the boys. Just to say, if they unalived the boys, it would have been just as bad. But still, in general, to come up with this idea is insane. It's sick, terrible. All right, let's just be honest about the situation. You dig? But yeah, Drake thought this was gangster.
They said they would talk to the police, but later changed their minds, probably afraid of what could happen if they was also labeled snitches. But it ain't matter, because police found enough evidence to start making arrests. The most famous name caught up in the case was none other than Pressa, who was arrested on charges of kidnapping for ransom, unauthorized possession of a firearm, and assault with a weapon. Even though police say he was one of the primary instigators of the violence, his lawyer argued that he only played a small role in the kidnapping. They don't think he's the one who actually planned it, but it's not clear exactly what part he played in the crime. The courts must have believed his lawyers because they allowed Pressa to be released on bail to await trial. By this time, his music career was already heating up, and he took this as an opportunity to try to change his life for good to avoid going down the same path as his dad and brother.
Bro, you was a part of some sick activities. Like, we can't ignore this, right? We can't act like, oh yeah, he's trying to make a positive change. He wants to make change. That's cap, nigga. You was not trying to make change, bro. You was not trying to make change whatsoever. Clearly. Okay? Let's just be real about the situation. He wasn't trying to make no changes at all. This is cap, bro. He still wanted to be seen as a villain. Let's just be honest. Alright? Drake thought this was gang. I'm gonna keep saying Drake thought this was gangster. That's why bring him on tour. Maybe he felt like he was one of the other steppers, perhaps. You dig? But yeah, man, like, this is still a vicious crime to be a part of. Like, this is not, like, in America, this would be seen as way worse than it was seen in Canada. Let's just be honest.
He dropped multiple singles, which all racked up millions of views, including 100 Wasi bars and Lavish. He also dropped his debut mixtape, Press Machine, in 2017. Then, he teamed up with super producer Murder Beats for the song Novocaine, which became his breakout hit and gained him more fans outside of Toronto. The song started to attract the attention of major artists, including Drake, and Pressa was invited to open for the Six Gods Boy Meets World Tour in 2017. Drake had posted a video of himself singing along to Novocaine while in the UK. He and Pressa ended up linking up in Europe when Drizzy was on tour. This cosign helped Pressa's career, and after that, he started collabing with major names in the industry like Tory Lanez and British rapper Giggs. But Drake also faced a lot of backlash for bringing Pressa on tour while he was out on bail for being involved in a brutal kidnapping. Even though Pressa got permission from the court to go on tour with Drake, the Toronto police wasn't happy about it and called several venues to shut down the shows. But Pressa ain't let this stop his grind, and he continued to make the most of the opportunity he was given. He seemed focused on putting the gang life behind him and making a change for the better, even if his past continued to haunt him. The courts must have noticed him trying to change, because in December 2017, he was cleared of all charges related to the kidnapping after being out on bail for about 18 months. The only evidence prosecutors had to link Pressa to the crime was one of the victims saying he was pistol whipped by someone who looked like the guy who rapped under the name Pressa on YouTube. The judge ain't think.
You pistol whipped a child. A child. Bro literally went out here. You violating children. You was helping torture children. Helping torture children. That's insane. Alright, that's insane. That ain't cool. That ain't gangster. These is kids. I get it. They was in a gang life and whatnot. But you ain't have to do all this extra ish. You feel me? Just in general. It's very frowned upon and very disgusting. I'm just saying. Nobody should be bigging up this type of behavior. This is weird behavior. Alright, very, very strange behavior, I must say. I ain't gonna lie.
Think this was sufficient evidence to positively ID Pressa as the gunman, so he beat all charges. But two other members of the Young Bucks killers, who were supposedly the real ringleaders of the kidnapping, got convicted and sentenced to 6 and 9 years. After beating the case, Pressa stayed true to his promise to leave the streets alone and moved to LA where he could focus on music. He dropped his debut album, Prestige, in 2019, which debuted at #1 on the iTunes Canada hip hop charts. In 2020, he signed a deal with Sony Music Canada and dropped an EP called Gardner Express. In 2021, it was announced that Pressa was in a relationship with another up-and-coming artist, Coi Leray, who's the daughter of Benzino, the former CEO of The Source magazine. Even though Pressa still uses street themes in his music and talks about the life he grew up in, it seems like he put the past behind him and is on to bigger and better things. Hopefully, he can stick to the music and not fall back into the lifestyle that almost ended his career.
Crazy, gang. Insane. So yeah, that's wild work. That's wild work. Like, man. And Coi Leray, you was dating someone like this? Pretty insane. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, gang. But yeah, this is atrocious behavior, disgusting. Drake, you got more things against you, and there's even more content we're gonna get into later, which makes Drake look like more of a predator. I'm not even gonna lie. But gang, listen, it's the mayor, the one and only real New York Mayor F. Eric Adams, and you're rocking with the town favorite Showface News. It's Big Gotham, and you already know it's the town versus everybody at all times. Make sure you like the video, share the video, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Alright, make sure you join the Discord. Today we're gonna be having a lot of events up in there. You make sure you tap in, get on that Discord, gang. Alright, but subscribe to Showface News now. If you're having a hard time on social media, you can't get the numbers you want, your traction is terrible, but you need to get that boost to get to where you want to be and go viral, you came to the right place, gang. You gotta holler at Drea the Virgo on Instagram, because she's helping endless YouTubers get to where they want to be, get to the mountaintop right now. I'm talking about more views, more traction, more likes, more comments, cross-platforming, you name it. I mean TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, more followers, more subscribers, more money. Alright, listen, you gotta go and follow Drea the Virgo right now. Hit her in the DMs, because guess what? She's loaded, alright? She's helping everybody. I mean everybody, champs. She's even helping the mayor. Yes, the mayor's getting help from Drea the Virgo. You need to holler at her right now so you can get your numbers up, right, and get to this money, get to this bag, quit your job, stop working a 9 to 5 and be a successful entrepreneur. Holler at Drea the Virgo right now.